Yo, this is Ty, the official TAI. Welcome back to my channel. Today, in lieu of being purposeful, because that's what we do, right? That's what we do. I'm here for a little something a little bit different for y'all today. PPP loan. Today, I want to educate you on how to get your PPP loan forgiven. Literally, forgivable fraud. Stay tuned. And as a bonus, watch this video to the end because I will elaborate on exactly how you can pay yourself legally. Yes, again, this is not for the frauds, y'all. These are for my companies that was really hit hard. Okay, so here's the steps on what you can do, again, to get your PPP loan forgiven, as well as the little bonus at the end, like I said, on how you can pay yourself, whether it's for 100% of the loan or just the 60. Stay tuned. Y'all, pause real quick. Please note, I am not a tax professional, lawyer, nor a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult with a professional for advice. I am not liable for your actions. Yeah, I had to say it.
Welcome to the official TAI channel. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to my channel. Yes, you heard me. Forgivable PPP loan versus a fraud. Listen here, okay? I'm gonna make this real brief for you. First of all, it is fraud if you don't really have a business. It is fraud if you applied for this and your business started after February of 2020. Boom, let's just go ahead and put that out there, okay? Now, let's move on to how you can get this forgivable for my truthful people. That's all I'm worried about, for real. All right, first, let me let you know that the PPP loan is for businesses established before February 2020 and were hit hard because of what? The pandemic, of course, okay? With that being said, I'm going to need you guys to track all of your spending, all of your transactions, all of your expenses, because if and when the big boys come and holler at you, you can say, here's this, here's that, I transferred that X amount, and this was my formula. This is what I used, okay? Which has to be at least 60% towards payroll. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. One of the first things I want you to do is itemize your expenses, okay? Itemize your expenses between this, 8 and 12 week period that you have. Then you'll be able to obviously apply for the forgiveness. That's the whole purpose, is to get this forgiven. It wasn't just to get the money, y'all. It was to get this forgiven so that way your company doesn't go into that much more debt, even though the loans are really only at about 1%. It's the principle, y'all, right? No paybacks is the goal. So again, let's get this forgiven. With that being said, 60-40 rule, okay? 60-40 rule means 60% of the PPP loan, the payroll protection program, has to go to what? Payroll, okay? At least 60%. Stay tuned because I'm going to tell you exactly how you can possibly get the full amount for payroll, but it does have to be at least 60%. And this 60-40 rule, okay? 60-40 rule, salary 60%, commission 60%, loss of salary. Again, payroll protection program. So the majority of it, of at least 60%, needs to go to paying yourself commissions. Again, this is only for sole proprietors. I didn't get big into research and everything for all types of companies. This is for sole proprietors that are receiving less than $150,000 in the PPP loan. So just want to put that out there as well. And the remaining 40%, okay? The remaining 40% can go to your overhead, rent, mortgage interest, utilities, internet. Basically, like I said, your overhead. What do you need to keep your business afloat? Other than, obviously, to pay yourself back, because I'm sure you probably took a bad hit. And believe it or not, you can still be unemployed. In reference to the 60-40 rule, I'll tell you what's not included. What's considered as fraudulent: yachts, Birkin bags, buying a house, buying a car. Maybe not payments on the car if that's your type of business. But you can't go outright and purchase a vehicle, okay? Message, just want to put that out there, okay? No luxury items, cars, jewelry, huge homes, not even a little home, for real. Don't buy anything new. Don't start a new business with the loans, okay? Fraud alert. Again, I'm trying to get you forgiven for this, not to get you prison for this with the PPP, okay? PP prison. That sounds nasty. Anyway, all right, how to keep your stuff together, how to track your stuff, itemize, write it all down, put all your receipts in a folder. Do everything you have to do to make sure that you stay one up. With that being said, one of the steps I want you to do is have a business bank account or just a separate bank account from your personal. Don't commingle bank accounts. Don't say, oh, I know $5,000 in there is from the PPP and the other $500 is mine. Who's to say you won't overspend? Who's to say that you may end up getting confused with what was spent for what? You might go out on a business lunch, and then you also bring your homies with you. Well, don't mix business with pleasure, boo-boo, okay? Because that's just one way of, again, to the fraud side. No, we want forgivable. We don't want fraud. We want forgivable. All right? Message. With that being said, like I said, business bank accounts or a separate bank account. Do not commingle your accounts. Do not keep your business with your leisure. Separate it, y'all. Even if it's just two separate regular checking accounts. Or if you have your LLC, all that good stuff, more than likely, you probably do have a bank account, a business bank account. By all means, if you had your PPP loan put in your personal bank account and you do, in fact, have a business bank account, write yourself a check, transfer the funds, just make sure that there's a trace to it. So that way you can show proof of your bank statement. Boom, this was transferred to that account. Boom, 60% of this was sent to my payroll. So yes, I did write myself another check and put it to a whole nother bank account or the original bank account. Either way, do not commingle business with pleasure. That's a lot of our problems, unfortunately, and that's why everybody's not meant to be a sole proprietor, because you don't know how to separate the two, differentiate, basically. All right, back to my notes, y'all. Put all funds into this separate account, okay? Only use this account for transactions related to this loan, your business. Listen to these steps. It will make it easier for you to track or show proof of your spending, of how you handled the PPP loan, okay? Or mishandled. Like I said, don't commingle. That's the last time I'm going to say it, y'all. Keep it separate, okay? Keep it cute. Keep it separate. Keep it professional at the end of the day. All right. Also, if you received $150,000 or less, because I didn't research everything for all types of businesses, S Corps, I don't know, businesses that may have gotten $1 million, $1 trillion. It seems like you guys are actually more likely, 3 times more likely, I should say, to become audited. Stay one step ahead, y'all. Have all your stuff laid out. Put all your receipts in a folder. Show proof of everything. Use your card. Write a check. I don't know. I personally don't recommend you going out, taking out cash. If this is for you for your payroll, write yourself a check. Put it to another bank account. Then withdraw from that. Do not just take out cash because, again, commingling. You might need gas. You may decide you want some Chick-fil-A later on. That's not business related. That's not what the PPP loan program is for. Just putting it out there. Message. Please note that if you received $150,000 or more, you just literally tripled the chances of you being audited or questioned of what you, or watched, I should say, of what you actually spent the funding on. Yeah, those people buying yachts and Lamborghinis and stuff like that, these are CEOs of big companies. They know better. But we ain't worried about them, y'all. I'm worried about Joe Schmo that actually did take a big hit, take a big loss, and maybe that bodega, that mom and pop store, was exactly the only resource of income that your family had. That's who I feel for right now, okay? Anyway, like I said, if you received $150,000 or more, your chances of being audited have tripled. Lower amounts are usually randomly picked. So if you got, let's say, $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $20,000, whatever, I don't know, whatever the numbers are for you, you could have got $1,000. That's probably less likely. However, if you up there in the 6 figures, boo-boo, just go ahead and get a folder and just put everything in there and separate your account, obviously. All right. If you do this and you go to apply for the forgiveness to make this forgivable, remember, the goal isn't just to get the loan, it's to get the loan forgiven. That's where you want to be. That's success. Okay. Now, in order to be successful, you will have to fill out a 3508S or a 3508EZ. The 3508S is for loans that are less than $150,000, and you're probably more likely to get it forgiven. I just want to put that out there. Yes, it is possible that you can still be audited, but you're listening to me, which I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a professional or a tax professional. So yes, go and seek legal advice. I'm just here for entertainment purposes and maybe a little bit of education. You choose. However, I'm not liable for what you decide to do with your life. Moving on. When you are ready to actually get everything together to submit the paperwork or to fill out the form for you to be forgiven or set up, I should say, or to be considered for forgiveness, I should say. One thing, find your promissory note. Find whatever documents or something like that you signed with whatever the third-party company was that you filed for the PPP loan with. Because from my understanding, you're not just filing for your PPP loan through SBA.gov. It's a third party who has created a platform for different lenders to choose or to help or to pay out the PPP loan. Then the federal government will then reimburse that company. I'm sure this third-party company probably charges these financing companies, these lenders, a fee for this third-party agreement. I said, find your promissory note or whatever documents that you received when you actually got approved for your PPP loan. Download it, take a picture of it, print it out, put it in that folder with all your receipts, highlight a few things, whatever you got to do. Be diligent with making sure that you are accurate, because that's what counts right now, is your accuracy. Okay? And about 8 to 12 weeks after the PPP loan is deposited into your account, you will more than likely be receiving a link for forgiveness from PPP or from that third party that you actually, from the third party that you actually signed up for your PPP loan with, or the lender themselves. Again, whatever third party you used, that's not your bank, okay? That's not a financial institution. More than likely, it was just a third party. Go on your documents that you signed. Go look at your promissory note. More than likely, it'll have the name of the bank on there. If those 8 to 12 weeks after you receive the money has came and gone and you still haven't received a link or any information about forgiveness, boo-boo, go ahead and Google what that bank is from your promissory note, from your documents that you signed and printed out and saved, right? Find out who your lender is, who your bank is, then contact them asking them, where's my forgiveness paperwork? What are the steps? What's all required? Because believe it or not, each bank, each lender can have different requirements for getting this loan forgiven. It's not just black and white. Also, once you get these funds, once you get the PPP loan deposited into your bank account, there's a 24-week covered period plus 10 more months before you will have to make your first payment. Yes, it's only at about 1%. However, the goal is to get it forgiven. That's when you've been successful, not halfway through and then quit. Okay? That's when you get it successful. So go ahead, work towards getting everything forgivable. All right. Also, tips on how to pay yourself with the PPP loan with confidence. Okay? For sole proprietors that only received one draw of the PPP loan, because things can get a little confusing if you've already received the first draw and then now the second draw, because you have a lesser amount of time to prove or to show how you paid yourself, how you paid different expenses or overhead, or if you paid yourself the full amount. Because believe it or not, that is an option to pay yourself in payroll the full amount of your PPP loan. Stay tuned, boo-boo. Believe it or not, you can pay out your payroll to yourself in one lump sum, or over a period of time by using the owner compensation replacement, the OCR. So if you hear or see this, you're educatable because you already know what this is, okay? Owner compensated replacement, which gives you about over 11 weeks, not 8 weeks. 8 weeks is the minimum. You want to have the full stretch so that way you can allot yourself the full amount. If you're giving yourself a lower time frame, how are you going to really say that I paid myself X amount of dollars in 2 months when you were actually given enough money to pay yourself for 2.5 months, so to speak? All right, so just do the numbers right, y'all. Again, be honest and make sure your numbers add up, because if you get questions, it better match to a T. Message. Also, okay, so over 11 weeks, not 8 weeks. Again, this is starting from the first day that you received your funds, okay? With that being said, one lump sum is okay because it's not a taxable transaction. So yes, I said it. To pay yourself in one lump sum is not taxable at that time. It is not considered a taxable event. Okay. However, over the 11-week period, when you file your taxes at the end of the year, by calculating your profit is what will then be taxed. Okay. Your profit that's made off of the business. So just wanted to put that out there. Also, option 2 is over an 8-week period. That smaller period I was telling you about, 60% of that has to go to payroll. Okay. So not the full amount. We passed the one lump sum amount, but if you're using the 8-week period, you have to use the 60-40 basically, okay? So what that means, at least 60 to 74% has to be sent to payroll. Then the difference can be your overhead, your internet, your cable, if that's required, required, not just a luxury. Telephone bills, rent, mortgage, things like that to keep your business afloat. Also, if you're paying yourself, or owner's draw is what it's also called, record that and keep your records. Again, if all your funds went to one bank account, it's also happened to be probably your personal bank account, okay? Transfer those funds somewhere else, write yourself a check, do something, okay? And put it in another account. Again, do not commingle. Do not have it added with your normal paychecks that you might get from your 9-to-5 job as well, if you have that, or any other income that you have going on. So that way you can simply print out your bank statement and say, here, IRS or whoever it is that comes and questions you, this is exactly what was done with the funds. The funds was transferred to this account on this day. X amount is the 60% of the payroll that I paid out to myself, or 60% to 74%, excuse me, that I paid out to myself. And this is what I did with the difference for my overhead. And just give them the full bank statement, boo-boo. And again, within that time period, the 8 to 11 week period. Okay? Do not commingle. I'm just putting that out there, y'all. You can be setting yourself up without knowing. And then that is considered fraud. Okay? We want forgiveness. We want forgivable. We don't want fraudable. If that even makes any sense. But you catch my drift.